I'm Ken Abramowitz, and I've been involved in the healthcare industry all of my working life for the past 40 years. I do devote, used to be one day, now 2 days a week for public service, charity events, political events. But my key focus in my 2 days is giving speeches and trying to help save Western civilization, which is a big endeavor of mine. I look at it as a professional business analyst, and I try to analyze what's wrong in society and how to fix it. And then I rest on Shabbat. So my weeks are divided roughly 4 days of work, 2 days of public service, 1 day of Shabbat. I've been involved with Israel in my adult life. That was one of my goals, and one of the goals of my father, which was to be involved in Israel to the maximum extent possible. In the past 15 years, I've gone to Israel about every 2 months. And I learn tremendously from Israel. Well, when I go to Israel, let's say 6 times a year, the equivalent of one of those times might be for business. And the other 5 would be for what I call intellectual sightseeing. In other words, I'm sightseeing in order to learn what's going on in the country.
The thing I've always admired most about Ken Abramowitz, he's a person who never wavers. He has his thoughts, he has his principles, and he doesn't change. I've watched him ask the tough questions to political leaders, never backs down, always ready to listen and to learn. And you could see the love he has for the people of Israel.
Every society has cracks, so to speak, where the private sector doesn't properly serve the population or a segment of the population, and government programs don't properly serve that segment. And B'nai Zion tries to fit in to the unmet needs facing the Israeli public. And by demonstrating this care and concern, it strengthens the culture of Israel. Also strengthens the culture of Americans, both Jews and Christians, who contribute to that effort.
He has all the answers. Every time I've met with him, he has all the answers what we should do. But Ken is a smart guy. And believe me, for us today at B'nai Zion to have him as our guest of honor, he represents really a very special part of the Jewish people. And I'm glad to say that I consider Ken to be a friend of mine.
Usually organizations in Israel are one-dimensional. So, for example, they represent a hospital, which is fine. They represent a university, nothing wrong with that. They represent or help Israeli soldiers, that's wonderful too. And so I'm very respectful of organizations that do one thing. But B'nai Zion does multiple things, which is even more difficult. I mean, to be involved in an art school, a rehabilitation center, a hospital, senior care, youth at risk, it's not easy to do multiple things at the same time. And so that gives me extra respect for the organization. It's an honor to be here with a lot of friends, long-time friends, new friends, wonderful people, wonderful organization, and keep doing what you're doing for another 110 years and more.